Welcome to the BZY-B WineDown, where we have fresh sips, industry tips, cruising on ships, and all that shit. The one podcast where you have dance, travel, lifestyle, and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Bounce, and I guess I got time today. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the BZY-B WineDown. I am your host, Bounce, and like I said, I guess I got time today. I'm so excited to sit with this person and have this conversation. The young gentleman I am bringing on is someone near and dear to my heart that I just met a couple months ago, but created a stamp that I fell in love with, and it's simply his artistry, his creativity, but most of all, his heart. He is a force to be reckoned with and somebody that I look up to, and so glad to have worked with recently. He is my little brother, my friend, Jakevis Thomason. How are you, boo?
I'm doing good. I love you. I love you so much.
Oh my gosh. How are you?
I'm doing good, making it, surviving, blessed to see another day. Happy to be here too.
Because it's not promised, so we have to be thankful.
Not at all.
Well, before we get deep into this conversation, I'm going to introduce what we're talking about today to everybody. The topic of conversation is simply how to maneuver through the reality and the social media version of art and presenting yourself to the world. Jakevis is definitely someone who has maneuvered very well, especially in the last few months, especially during quarantine. And I have just been super excited to just watch it all happen.
Oh, thank you.
How,
been a part
like,
of it too.
okay, so before we get started, what drink of choice are you drinking for this conversation?
All right, so my family is not a big wine drinker, so I had to try to get, educated on that. But my grandma actually helped me pick out some strawberry Moscato.
Strawberry
That's what we're drinking.
Moscato. Oh, wait. Hold on. Okay, I'm coming back. I had to give open it. I'm back. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Strawberry Moscato. You know what's crazy? I've never had strawberry Moscato, and I love me some wine.
Right.
What? Okay, I'm about to add that to the list today.
Yeah.
If you saw on the BZY-B WineDown page, I asked a lot of people like, what's their favorite brand? Because I really want to expand on my brands, and it's no better way than finding out about new ones unless you ask, right?
Right.
Got some good choices, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah.
So strawberry Moscato is definitely being added on to this my choices.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got another red wine. If y'all know me, I like my red. I just definitely broke the cork on accident. I closed it all the way through. I didn't, guys. And I'm normally good at opening corks. That's the best part. Here we go. There it is. All right. So we got a red over here. We'll put this over there. My wine opener. All right, so today's choice for me is Francis Coppola Diamond Collection. It's a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Ooh,
and I'm super excited to try this. So this is what I'm going to drink. So I'm going to pour my glass.
Oh, she's fancy. She's expensive.
Shout out to Coppola. And I'm going to say cheers to you.
Cheers.
Take a sip. Wait a minute, this is a little more sweet.
Yeah, that's juice for sure. The strawberry Moscato.
Yeah, juicy. All right, well, here we go. So tell everybody, where are you from?
I am from Greenville, South Carolina, born and raised. I moved to LA around 2016 when I graduated high school.
Wow, 2016. And where are you home now?
Yes, I'm back home now. Just graduated from the University of Southern California.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
I know that was kind of weird. You didn't get to walk, huh? Well, walk the traditional way.
Yeah, I walked the traditional way. It was very weird. The virtual experience was great. I'm happy that we got to do it, but I definitely still need that in-person factor.
Yeah. You're like, that was not ideal of the hard work you put in for those many years to graduate.
Right.
Yeah. You're like, excuse me, can we
Can
rain
we
check
come back?
that?
Yeah, it didn't hit. It didn't hit right. I need to seal the deal with it in
Well,
person.
I'm glad that you were at least able to get the recognition you deserve for that, for sure.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
So I'm asking everybody this like really deep-hearted question, especially in the times that we're in right now. That in this time of quarantine, what is something that you've learned about yourself that maybe you've had to let go of, or something that you've learned that you've gained and that is really helping you to progress, especially during the time right
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I would have to say, um, I'm Christian. I
now?
don't know everyone's religion, but I'm Christian Baptist, and my relationship with God has grown so strong during this time.
Yeah.
I've really had to rely on faith to get me through a lot of things. I'm not sure what people have done who don't believe in God or don't have a specific religion, but I've had to rely on God so much through this, and it's made me realize how much I do have to trust in God. This whole entire quarantine, um,
Right.
especially when I don't know where the world's going, where
Right.
what's next for me. I just have to trust that God has everything in store. So definitely my faith. I've grown so strong in my faith over the
Yeah.
past months in quarantine.
I would agree. I would definitely agree. I feel like I've heard that a lot.
Mm,
I've seen a lot of people even grow in that way as well with their faith and how they're even reflecting to the world their faith and what they're finding in. Even some of it is even just universal. You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like I know spiritually as well I'm learning a lot.
Hmm.
Spending time with nature is a lot of part of my faith in
Yeah.
this moment in time, and knowing that I can't take that for granted. Like the world God created is literally right under my feet. And
Yeah.
I can sit on it because my grandfather said it. He said, a lot of people are saying that I don't have time to go to church. Well, God said, world, stop. Now
Hmm.
you have time. It's
Yeah.
virtual. You can make it at home. My grandma, Bedside Baptist, you got it right in
Come
your
on,
lap.
Baptist. Yes. Wait, that's my family all the way. Yes.
Bedside Baptist. I'm not gonna make it in, but I'm gonna make it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, you're so right. I love that.
No, I
So
love it. I love it. So I know a lot of people are learning who you are. So tell everybody who you are and what you do.
yeah. So I'm from Greenville, South Carolina. I started competition dance when I was around 3 years old. I stayed in it till I graduated high school, and then I went to the University of Southern California to get my BFA in dance. There, I really started to get my passion for choreography, cinematography, and the business side of dance. And
Mhm.
actually, that was my concentration in school. It was cinema, choreography, and business.
Wow.
And yeah, I decided to use all three of those to, kind of start my own thing with these concept videos and films that I'm doing now, and just giving people art and something to look at during these times, because it can be very hard to create and want to share work with people. So I'm really trying to find my patience within that and still be able to trust God and Him leading me in the right direction when it comes to making all these films and stuff and giving back to people and just showing what our Black community is going through right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'm I'm a creative. That's
You're
literally who
creative. Like I
I
love that. I love
am.
that. That's definitely what you're calling yourself. Like I tell people, like don't ever put yourself in a bubble. Like at all in all, you're an
Yeah.
artist. You're creative. It can go so many different ways. It can be presented in so many different ways.
Hmm.
Um, so you started with competition dancing. I did as well.
Yeah.
I like still till this day. I'm like we are a different breed of
We
dancers.
really are. Like,
That
we
strive and
really
drive is
are.
just so different. And
It's so
when you come
different.
from that world, your mindset is very different. And then on top of that, because a lot of people I feel in the dance world kind of see competition as its own little thing, they think that you can't go the other
Yeah.
routes.
Mm.
Cause they're like, oh, you're just like a very like fast turner and high
Yeah.
jumper and da da da. But I can also be very sentimental and very,
Hmm.
loving and very soft of a dancer and all these things. We're very versatile, but I feel like competition taught me to be a versatile dancer.
Yes, I will have to agree with that 100%, especially when it comes to performance. I feel like competition dance has definitely taught me to perform. Like, there's nothing wrong with performing. A lot of people have things to say about you giving facial expressions and
Showmanship.
stuff. Showmanship.
You
I'm like,
notice me.
yeah, you notice
Notice
me. That's
me.
personality. That's me just dancing. Like, I look back at old dance videos of competition days, and I'm like, I miss those times when you just didn't think about anything. You just got on that
You
stage
just
and
got on that
danced,
stage and you slayed, and
played.
you
Yeah,
and your team, you knew it. If it was your solo, you knew you had it. If it
right.
Yeah, I remember it was one competition. My whole like studio. It was like sixth place overall, us. Fifth
Mhm.
place overall, us. And we
Come
just
on.
kept trickling down to where it was only like a duet.
Yes.
But
Those
like
are the
you just knew
best.
who you were, you knew what you brought to the table, and I miss
Mhm.
those days. I miss when it was carefree. It was
Yeah,
carefree and fun. You get what I'm saying? It was very
yeah.
fun. It was very competitive, but it was very fun.
And also that
So,
feeling of team and unity
right.
don't
Right.
hit
I
the
feel
same
like
when you get
sometimes you
older,
lose that in the industry now.
for
Like I
sure.
don't, sometimes I don't even like going to class, and I hate saying that, but I would rather do a concept with some friends or get together and just make something happen, rent some studio space and figure it out as we did.
Exactly, as we did, as we did.
As we did. All
Exactly.
right, so how long have you been dancing? Your whole life?
Literally my whole life. I would say I
Wow.
started when I was 3, but I know for a fact I was dancing before that in my mom's stomach for sure.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. My mom was like, put music on and you would just move around.
Right.
No, okay, so what started your interest with dancing? What really like pulled that interest?
So my mom is actually the person who put me in dance. She just saw that I was dancing around all the time, and my mom was like, "All right, let's go ahead and put him in." She put me in when I was 3, and then I knew that I wanted to keep dancing my whole life. I think at the beginning of high school, around ninth grade,
Mm-hmm.
I had an interest in drama. I wanted to be in theater. I had an interest in art, like drawing and painting, and I wanted at the time I wanted to decide specifically what I wanted to do just because I knew these 4 years are gonna 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, these 4 years are gonna fly by. Had to make sure it's been a while.
Look.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that the next 4 years I was in alignment with my passion and my
Yeah,
dreams and my goals so that once I graduated college, I wasn't in that state of I don't really know what I want to do. Where am I
right.
going to go? I've already been practicing and had this mindset of this is the track I want to go on.
Yeah.
So I dabbled in a little bit of all of it, but nothing hit quite the same as dance. And I was like, no matter what I do, I just
Gotta
keep
stick
going
to
back.
it.
Got to stick to it. So I was like, I knew from then on, I was like, this is what I want to do the rest of my life. And that's when I decided that I was going to dance, no matter what it was. I knew dance had to be involved. Even going to school, my mom, my family, they were like, you have to go to college. And I was like, I understand, but if dance is not included, I will not be
I'm
going.
not doing
I'm
it.
not doing it. That's way too much money to be spending on education. You can just get like we're doing
True.
now, virtually or online.
Look, we have to think of it that way, especially now. Like, I feel like sometimes parents don't realize like school is very different than when they were in school. Even though it
Yeah.
was hard, still hard back then. It's
Hmm.
even harder now.
Right.
Um, okay, so with that being said, you said you went to USC cinematography, dance, and
Business.
business.
Hmm.
Okay. So within this, what pulled you towards the cinematography side
Yeah.
of
I
this field?
Yeah, I love movies. I've always been a fan of movies, even watching them with my mom. I love this idea of stories and just making your own fantasy that you can live in and you can take it and manipulate it however you want to. And I love to adapt that to dance and
Yeah,
see how we can tell these same stories through movement. And
right.
I always love watching movies, and I'm like, I wonder how that would have been different if there was like dancing bodies in the middle of that. If they were filming some kind of routine or something. And
Right.
I was like, I might as well do that myself. So I wanted to go to I wanted to take classes while I was at USC just to be more educated in that field because I could
Hmm.
always play to the top of my intelligence and do what I know, and that's great. But there's no problem with
True.
going and getting it and getting what you want to know. So I was like, I might as well educate myself a little bit more, and I did. Like those classes did their work for sure. And yeah, I just wanted
It's
to.
so good to hear.
Yeah, I just want to become more educated in that part and figure out like camera shots, camera angles, what happens behind the camera, because it
Yeah.
seems all glitz and glam once the product is done and finished and when you share, but
What
it's
goes
hard work.
behind it?
It's hard. It's hard work, from editing, like rehearsals, getting people together. It's no joke.
So you would say
It's
that
no
that really started in that part of your like directing and producing side started in
joke.
college. Once you
Yeah.
start having the resources, because really that's even better. Like the even greater part about it is that you had the resources
Sources.
literally at your fingertips because you were
Right.
at school. So
Yeah.
you could go to the film department and say, "Hey, I'm one of the students. I need this for the week."
Yeah, and USC is great. Like everyone at my university, they're great about wanting to collaborate and help each other out. So that was so nice to have that and see that I have access to that. And I started like making films while I was in high school. I made like, they're actually on my YouTube. There's like two when I was like really younger that I made. And I was just playing around with one of my family friends here who wanted to do some cinematography. And I had some friends who wanted to join in and be a part of the video. And like, it's crazy to see my growth from those first two videos into what I'm creating now. And I'm like, you really got to invest and like appreciate those moments of growth, because
Yes.
like you don't get to see that a lot, especially when you feel like you're in the standstill moment
Right.
of nothing going on. You just have to take a moment to look back at the past and be like, no, you've grown for sure. You've made some advancements.
No, definitely. If you don't learn from your successes and your failures, you're not learning at all. And that's quoted by my grandfather, okay?
Tell
I
him I said
definitely,
thank
that
you.
man is full of knowledge. I love listening to his words of wisdom and I love
Right.
passing them on. So
Yeah.
definitely one, if you don't learn from your successes and your failures, you're not learning at all.
So true.
Um, so what have you been doing since quarantine has started? I know I've watched some amazing things happening. Tell everybody like what you've been up to and where this how you've kind of used social media to advance where you have
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah, so I've been creating these films and concept videos just around what's been going on in the media and also just in reality. The murders of Black bodies, and it's it's sad. It really is sad, and it's hard to create things that you want to. Like, I honestly don't want all my work to emphasize the murders that are going on, police brutality, or the hardships that the Black community has to face. I would love to take a step outside of that and just talk about daily things that Black people do, or just like happiness and
Yeah,
joyfulness. But it's so hard for us to get outside of that when there's so much informing and educating that must happen for people to understand that this is not okay. This is not normal
right.
for us to have to create art. And I understand everyone being appreciative of the artwork that we are creating in this time, but we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't always
Yeah,
have to create it about Black death. Like, I want it to be about Black happiness, joyfulness, things that we do on
right.
a daily basis. And that's what I started to do a little bit with I just released some Chloe and Halle
Yeah, you
series just to
did.
make it a
And
little
it's
bit fun. And
amazing.
yeah, and even Black Parade, the one you were a part of, like it was a little bit more joyful than stuff I was creating before. But and now I'm just trying to find that happy median of where I can do both. But once again, we have
Another
Lake
shooting,
yeah,
another crime that's just it and with the cameras and everything
yeah,
in front of your face, you're just like,
it's
how
hard.
can you not understand why we're upset? How can you not understand
Yeah,
why we keep pushing and pushing and pushing? Like there was another protest here in LA last night. We're back to fighting even louder again for Breonna
yeah.
Taylor because once again this is a senseless act that's happening with cameras and you still don't care.
It,
And I tell people that I remember when we did Black Parade, which is
mhm.
we'll get into after this.
Okay.
Um but when we did Black Parade and how I knew it was hard, it was a thought process of do I put out stuff still because I don't want people to think I don't care about
Yeah,
what's going on, but I also want people to understand Black joy is still a thing, and I
yeah,
need you to see that side too because y'all are too busy trying to put in front of our faces the negative.
right.
So I'm gonna show you some positive. Like I remember when TikTok and all that stuff, I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know what, I'm gonna still use mine because I'm gonna put a message out
right.
while still showing you some Black joy, but still putting a message out so you understand I'm not taking shit for shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly,
Like, is this me?
exactly.
Is this who I am? And you have to respect that.
Right.
In order to respect that, you have to see me living by it. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I commend you for the work you're doing and the work you have done and are continuing to do because it's still happening.
Yeah.
But it takes voices to speak up and talk about these things in
Mhm.
whatever way, shape, or form it will allow people to listen. And
Right.
if that means doing a dance concept, that means doing a damn
The
dance
dance
concept.
concept.
You're gonna
Exactly.
watch and you're gonna see.
Right.
Right? So
It's so true.
all of this, how all this has come about. We did Black Parade. But I know that you had another opportunity before really all of these things just going the things that we've done and that I've watched since I've met you been
Mhm.
going on that you had an opportunity to work with who?
Brandy.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yes.
first B7.
Right.
I can't like my girlfriend and me love Brandy, but
Right.
like B7 is she doesn't she I can't. But you got to work with her for Baby Mama, right?
Right. Baby
The
mama video.
video.
Mhm.
How was that? How did the opportunity come about? What like give us the tea? What happened? Like how did I'm gonna pour more on
Yeah,
this.
I got it was such an eye-opening experience to see everything that happens behind a music video. I've had opportunities to like be on television and to work behind the camera a couple of times on certain projects, but to actually work behind a Black artist and see what has to take place, it was amazing. And I couldn't help but smiling the whole time on set because first off, I was in shock that I was even working with Brandy, or as I like to call her, Marisha. Um,
I know.
right. It's just, it was
I'm
kind
like
of
or
crazy.
Cinderella.
Or Cinderella, right. We could make a list of it. So that was crazy in itself, but also just to see how hard Black people have to work in order to create something as amazing as that video is it's insane. Like we already know we have to work 10 times as hard as any other race as is.
Unfortunately, but hey, we were built for this.
Right, we were literally built for it and we got it and we do it and it's already been done. But to see her whole family and Frank Gatson, which is an amazing mentor of mine, Frank, which is the creative director, he was giving me some amazing help with like choreography and helping
Yes.
me on some things. See her whole team just come together and create that masterpiece. It was amazing to watch, and it just brings such unity, and it gives me such hope that no matter what's going on in the world, like we always rise above it and come together. And it was
Right.
so beautiful to see, and also just seeing what takes place behind the camera again, because no one will ever know the hard work that's put into it unless
Right.
you're actually a part of it.
Right.
Yeah,
I know when
it's
I'm on set, I'm like watching everything,
right.
the dancing
Take
stuff. I'm
it
like, I love because we've talked about this. We both
right.
love being creative directors and like
Hmm.
being behind the camera as well. So
Exactly. And like
yeah,
taking note of that, it was amazing. And it was such a good experience for me because it makes me even more inspired to create. Like I feel like I definitely took what I've learned from organizing and setting up rehearsals and getting people together and just asking, would you want to be a part of this? Sending out my things on social media. Like I feel like some people are scared to ask for help sometimes. And
right,
I will be that person not to want to ask for help, but when I know I'm needing dancers or have people who are interested in being involved, I'll just put it out on social media and ask, is there anyone that wants to help out or be involved in this project I'm creating?
right.
Yeah, that all I was inspired by the work ethic of everyone's on Brandy's team. And I'm like, yeah, I can just do that myself as well and, create something
Make
amazing
it
like she did.
happen.
But yeah.
Make it happen. Yeah, we were just talking about it's Issa Rae said that
Oh, amazing.
it's better to grow across instead of up and down because these people across from you are literally on your playing field. They're understanding, they're going through the things, but they also have something you need. The
Right.
people up here aren't gonna understand what you're talking about right here because they either surpassed it or never were there.
But
And
there.
the
Yeah.
people down here probably will never make it. You get what I'm saying? Like there's just
Yeah.
levels to this shit and you just gotta take it for what it is.
You do.
So what would you say? Okay, so with that one, was that a like you submitted for it or just Frank? Like how did it?
Yeah, how to come about. Yeah, Frank actually came to me with the opportunity, and he was like, "I have a feeling that you could be right for this." And he asked me to submit some work in, and he gave me some input on what he was looking for. And he's he's one of my most honest mentors I've ever had. He keeps it straightforward. He keeps it blunt. He was like, this is what we're wanting. This is what we're looking for. If it's hidden, it's hidden. If it's not, it's not. And he'll tell you.
Right.
And I can't help but to respect that. No matter what he says, I know it's always there to help me, and
Right.
all out of love. So I take it all in, and not only just for that video, but for me as an artist in general. Like,
Right.
I take it in and I use it because he's been in this game for longer than
A
we even
long
know,
time.
and he's
He's
worked with
worked with
some of the
everybody.
work with everyone. I'm like, why would you not take that in and just be quiet and listen to what he says? So no, so thankful for him. But yeah, he gave me that opportunity. That was all him, and yeah, I love working with him.
That's such a blessing. I'm so excited and happy for you, and congratulations again. I know it's already out and all, but still, like, it's never a problem to congratulate somebody on past success, because you're still doing it. Like, you're still doing it now. You're creating some of your own things. I know that you also were part of Jaquel Knight's March Madness, right?
Yes, yeah.
How was that? Like, I know that's another like social media like networking opportunity for you. How was it?
Yeah, that was actually my first time really getting to see something that was like all mine. And what I mean by that is the first thing that I submitted to that was Yikes, the Yikes
Hmm.
submission. I call it Petty Cake. That's what I titled
Yeah.
the little thing. Um, but seeing that come together, I literally asked Jada and Adam, who are part of that, like last minute, would you want to like do the Jaquel March Madness
Yeah.
with? And they were like, yeah, we're on board. I taught them choreography, I videoed it, and I didn't realize the impact of it until afterwards, where people started commenting and they liked it, and they were like, oh my
Hmm.
God, this is so good. And then the next one came about, and I like made it to the second round. I was like, wait, I was like, okay, we're doing something here. Then submitted to the second round, and that turned out really well too. Made it to the third one, and then it got on pause because of the whole
Yeah,
COVID.
because of COVID.
Right. But timing's everything. So whenever it resumes, it resumes. But that really gave me that kind of, I'm not sure if it's like validation or just that extra kind of like bump to just be like, yeah, keep going
Yeah.
with this. Like, you have
Yeah.
something. Like, I saw potential in myself. I was like, oh, I really do have something. I should just keep advancing in this and seeing what I can make
Hmm.
different. And
Listen to yourself.
right, listen to
It's
myself.
the
And I was like,
best. We gotta listen to yourself.
exactly. And when all of this started going on with Black bodies being murdered, like in the media, because it's always been happening, but it's just the fact that some of these things are being, a lot more of these things are being filmed now and being in the
Hmm.
media. I was like, why not take that and use it to educate people on what's actually happening? Because it's not just a video, it's reality. Like, this actually happened for someone to film it. So I was like, I'm going to take what I've been already practicing with these films and what
And use
people need
it.
to know and use it. Yeah, so that was a great experience too. Just, I really haven't been on social media in that kind of way of where I'm
Yeah.
like presenting work like that. So that was great. Also, Jaquel Knight is just amazing, and what a creative way to just help other choreographers and artists get their name out. Like, it's such
Right.
a brilliant idea, and I was
He's
so
been
happy
doing
to
a
be
lot.
a lot. Like, even
A
the relief
lot.
fund. Like, I I pray that I can get to that like
Literally.
point in my life where I can just help other people and just
Just
be
give
there for
your
other
helping
creative.
hand.
Yeah, it's great. He's
Wait,
amazing.
so speaking of Jaquel, of course, he is the choreographer, creative director for Beyonce. We did Black Parade together, which is still, I go watch it there every single day. Of
Thank
course,
you.
I push for it for people to head over there and watch it too. But as far as Black Parade, I know it did numbers. I know it was absolutely everything and more. And I know we had a full conversation before it even
Yeah.
happened. And I said, what did I say? I said, let it do what it does, because it's
Yes,
going
yeah.
to do something. And it did. It
Did.
caught eyes. What is it at now?
Oh, I don't even know. I think the
Definitely over like 100,000 for
yeah,
sure.
definitely over that. I keep going back and just looking at comments. I'm not the one to like go back and look at every comment, but I do like to get
You
like
try to get what you
feedback and just
can.
yeah, and just hear what people are saying. I love to even hear opposing comments of like
Yeah.
they really enjoy just to hear why, because I mean art and dance is just subjective. All art and dance is subjective.
So
It's
subjective. You
and
just, it's
yeah,
open. You,
it's
because
open.
everybody's mind thinks differently.
Right, and it's all based on perspective. So
Mm-hmm.
whether you like it or not, that's all based on how you feel, and people have different views, and that's perfectly fine. That's why the comment section's there. Do what you must. But it was so nice to hear like good feedback about it, and just how much people actually enjoyed it. And I was really happy with it because we worked hard. Like all of us worked hard. Being in that sun,
That
this
was, but it was
mask.
such a smooth process. It was really
Oh,
smooth.
yay!
It was
Thank
way
you.
more smooth than you think. Like
Okay,
sometimes in
good.
your head, you're like, "Oh, I know they're tired of me. I know I'm doing this."
Yes.
Honestly, it was really smooth. Like
Okay.
it didn't have where you felt like I'm about to wring his neck. Like
Yeah.
no, it was
Okay,
like
good.
you scheduled it out. You made it work.
Hmm.
You were very open to your cast and their time. You weren't one
Right.
of these like it is what it is. I mean, it's to some point you have to be it is what it is, of course. We
Right.
know that because
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are like, well, I'm not free for that. Girl, now
Right.
hold
Right.
on.
Yeah.
You okay now? I'm trying to work it out, but no, it was very smooth. It was a great process, I will say. I feel like it happened. We had rehearsal. Nobody had rehearsal at the same time, which I tell
Hmm.
people like I love the little fun facts behind stuff like that. And I said
Yeah.
simply, we all didn't dance together until we all danced together.
Together. That's so.
They were like, what? I said the day of was when
Um,
we all actually danced together.
I
And
was
when we
just telling
all
someone
actually
that.
danced together was the last part. Other
Right.
than that, we had not moved together like that. But that's just you knowing your cast, you
Yeah.
knowing your work, you knowing the work ethic of the
Hmm.
people you had, and just trusting us, and we trusted you. And I
Right.
feel like
Oh,
that's what
thank
made
you.
it that much better. And I feel like that's what also resonates in the final product.
Right. For
But
sure.
you got to okay, so for Black Parade, which I'm gonna put a little snippet in so that the people can see if
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
haven't.
Good.
Um, but for Black Parade, you directed it, you edited it, you choreographed it, and you danced in it. The only thing you have on me that I have not done is I have not edited my own stuff, but I have produced it.
Hmm.
So you were in the mix of both.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. How was that? And you did a quick turnaround too.
Thank you. Yeah, I try to. It was great. I love showing people the versatility that I encompass because especially with Black people, like I said, we have to work 10 times as harder to make it to where we want. And I feel like showing that um, how multifaceted like Black people are is what I want to emphasize. Like we're not just good at one thing. Like we're good at multiple things. And like
Talented.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
literally. And I think I hope people when I put that out there, when I put like on the credits, when I say directed, edited, styled, and choreographed, and that at the end, I hope people don't think I'm trying to be like I'm trying to brag about myself or show that I did this. I just want to show this like Black people are just so creative and talented, and that I hope when you see me put out this stuff, you're like, I wonder who else is doing this. I wonder
Yeah.
how many Black people are like out there doing all these things. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's a bunch, and I can show you. Like it's
Right.
just and I love doing that. Like I don't want to be just that, like you just said, I don't want to pigeonhole myself to just choreography. Like I see the
Don't do
whole
it.
picture, right?
Don't do it.
Exactly. I see multiple things. I see styling. Um I see the setting. I see the cast that's needed. I see the whole idea, and I think that's one thing when it comes to hiring Black choreographers. I really think that they just need more say in the final product. It's not enough just to give Black choreography and let everyone else do what they must with it, because then you end up with a
No.
product that's not really showing the
Right.
choreography, and you're like, no, that section could be magical, like that could hit, like show that section. So that's why I love
Tell them.
editing that, because it's like, okay, this is what you need to show, and like having a say in cinematography as well. Many people don't know, but for Black Parade, I have the book here somewhere. I don't, it's in my book bag, but I actually wrote down all of the cinematography of where the camera needs to be moving right to left, and I gave the cinematographer the book, and I was like, here you go. And Adam
He
and
did,
Justin,
because when we
yeah.
were filming, he was like, right, two,
Right.
three, four, five, six, seven, back to the left, two,
Left.
count, there's 8 counts. And the only thing is you have only 8 counts. And I'm gonna keep telling you, because I
Right.
wrote down two, three, four, five,
You're
six,
right.
seven.
Right, literally. And like them being such amazing cinematographers and them already working with dancers and them being dancers themselves. Like it was so easy for them to
Wow,
just
I
look
didn't
at
know
it.
that. That's a fun fact.
Yeah,
They're
they actually
also dancers.
yeah, they went to USC with me, USC Kaufman. They
I
graduated
knew
the year
that, but I didn't
before
know they
me.
were dancers.
Yeah, they graduated the year before me. They got their BFA in dance as well.
That is so crazy with one tall and one little.
Yeah.
That is so crazy, y'all. They are RYBG, right?
Yeah, red, yellow, blue, green.
Yeah, primaries.
Right.
That
They're
is
great.
beautiful. That is crazy. So you literally wrote it all out. You did. So you pretty much kind of laid out for everybody. This is
Mhm.
it. This is all you have to do is go stand in your position and follow the guide.
Yeah, if God gives me the vision, I know I can make it happen. So,
So that's pretty much how your creative process goes. Is that you
right,
you map out and kind of like fill in because of course you can't do it all by yourself. And
right.
I feel like, do you feel like that's the hardest thing of balancing with being the creative and the director? And as I know, I find it difficult where I'm like, I can't be in every one of my projects because I can't see it and I want to see it and
Right.
I want you to see what I want to see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
No,
can't be
it's
behind the camera, but I also can't be in front of the camera. So which one? Sometimes do you feel like that's hard to choose which ones you're gonna be in and which ones you're not gonna be in?
it's so hard to choose. And like I'm the reason why I'm in so much of my work now is one because I just want to dance. Like I just want to be in it and I just want to dance. So that's a reason why I love just go ahead and be in my own work. I'm like
Yeah.
I don't have to put in that extra work into finding someone else at that moment and just because I don't know, everyone's always not available. I mean, it's not always available. So,
Yeah.
it's just easier for me to be like, okay, if I can
Yeah.
just find one extra dancing body, then we can just dance together and make it happen. And
Hmm.
I saw a lot of that in the comments for Black Parade. They're like, I wish the male wasn't dancing in there, da 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 da. And like the only reason why I did that is because the time crunch that I was on at the
Yeah.
time, I needed something to connect everything. And I was just like, what
Yep.
if I had one person to learn all of the choreography? And that way it kind of connects at the end. So that's what I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I'll learn all of it. I'll be in
Yeah.
it and we'll just make it work. It's very hard, especially when you want to take yourself out of it and just look at it and you could have there's so many things I could change, but that's in anything. I don't care what
Right.
it is. You're never done with the finished
It's
product.
you learn, you learn, you
Right.
learn, you learn, you learn. That's it. You
Right.
learn, you learn.
And even when you put it out, you're always looking at it. You're like, I could have probably changed that, even when you feel like it's great. But
Mhm.
yeah, it's definitely a difficult decision to make sometimes. But it is what. That's one of the moments where you have to say it is what it is, and it'll do what
Lig,
it needs
let
to
it
do.
go.
Let it go. Yeah.
So, where have you seen that social media has been a really big benefit in all that you're doing?
Share my artwork. That's the biggest benefit that social media has had. I've had a very weird relationship with social media just because I've gotten to a point where I just feel like a lot of things just aren't real on social media anymore. It's just how you want to
Yeah.
be seen, or it's either a resume. And it can be difficult trying to make your social media be a resume because you feel like you're keeping out so much of you
Yeah,
instead of, yeah, and it becomes more of a job. And
I
I don't
agree.
know. I just feel like social media shouldn't feel like a job all the time. Like it should be you. It's social
Agreed.
media. You want to be social. You want to show people you, be authentic. And it really got to that point for me. And I'm speaking for myself too. It definitely got to that point of me where you just like posting all these pictures and stuff just to show people who you feel like if they went onto your social media that you'll be right for the job or
Right.
you've done all of this. So
Right.
it's nice to feel like now I'm at a point of where I just want to create and show people my ideas, and that is me. That is who I am, and I love creating and making
And
music.
I'm so glad that you said that because I feel like a lot of people are scared and sometimes it is hard like when you have a video that did like yours did and I know I felt that way. It's like I gotta keep putting stuff
Put
out because
stuff
I
out.
don't want
Yeah.
nobody to forget. But at the same time, I guess like when mine went viral in 2016, at that point there wasn't craziness like this officially going on at that time.
Hmm.
But your messages are like so apparent to what's going on too. So it's like, how much can I put out without putting too much out, without feeling like I'm obligated to put stuff out? It's like the balance,
Yeah.
the balance, and that's one hard thing in social media is the balance, especially when you are recognizable now.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're like, okay, well now people see me. So like what do I do or what can I do to still stay relevant for the right things?
Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah.
it's hard. It's hard.
It's so hard to find that balance. And actually, I
It's
was talking
hard.
to Amaria about that as
Yeah.
well. And
Our mutual
she,
friend.
our mutual friend, yeah,
Sister, love. I love her.
I love her. She gave me some really good advice, and she was saying that I shouldn't have to feel like me producing work all the time is me advocating for blackness. Like that's specifically what it is.
Yeah.
Me just putting out anything is advocating for blackness.
Right.
Anyone black putting out any work, any creative work to any song, any sort of idea or concept is
Yes.
advocating for blackness. You are black. You're showing that we always rise above no matter what. Those still,
Correct.
there's always going to be police brutality going on just as much as they're alive. As long as they're alive, it's always going to be happening.
Right.
So definitely there's no problem with implementing that into your work and showing that, but also I've gotten to that point where I no longer feel like I have to only show that kind of work anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
can branch out and show you this and show you this and have something not to do with police brutality at all and still be advocating for blackness. I'm showing you that black people are creative and that black artists need
Right.
to be put at the front of the room. It's so much
Because
education
we
that
do.
needs
We
to
deserve
happen.
it. Y'all, the reparations, that's a part of it. Go ahead and give
Yeah,
our artistry reparations because y'all
right.
stole a lot of that too.
Exactly, exactly. And there's so much history embedded in black bodies that you hear so many people like, we want to be educated, we want to do this, we want to know more. Then put
Right.
these black artists at the front of the room when making films, when writing books, when fashion shows, anything. Like put these black creators in the
Stop
room and let them,
typecasting and just make it
right,
what it
yeah,
is. Like if you
make it
see a
what it is.
powerful group of black girls, hire them. That's
Hire them.
better. That's for your image.
Yeah.
Your image, not
Hmm.
ours. It's for
Right.
yours. We're trying to make you look better. We're auditioning to make you look better. And I feel
Exactly.
like that is such a big thing. Is like I feel like it's so funny when people are so shocked because I know like me and you are people that we're very humble and we don't really talk about what we've gone through, but we know what it is. And I know
Right.
I've had my moments where I've dealt with racial injustice and I don't walk around with that on my shoulders, of course, because
Hmm.
I want to be the example that shows you that I'm going to rise above at all times. You know
And
what I'm
that's so
saying?
true.
And so some of my friends were very shocked when I did share my story of me and my brother, you know, enjoying a peaceful day. And this lady looks back and looks at us as if she's uncomfortable because we're standing behind her in line and moves.
Mm.
Like, I'm a kid at this time, so the fact that I had to deal with that, like people were so like in shock. Like you don't ever really live as if that I'm not gonna live with that on my shoulders, but I will let you know. I'm gonna let you know when you're wrong. I'm
Right.
going, you know, I'm gonna talk about it in my artistry because thank God, dance is my answer to a lot of how I can, you know, express how I feel.
That part,
But I need you to
literally.
listen when I'm speaking it through that.
Listen,
I just don't have
exactly.
the voice anymore to feel like I always have to explain.
Right, right.
Yeah,
I love that.
there's so many things that I've discovered during this time of even just like noticing things. I'm just like, you know, I gotta let it go. Like I gotta let
Right.
it go. I'm no longer comfortable, and I hate being comfortable. So if I'm comfortable, yeah, I don't want to be comfortable in that situation.
Yeah.
No, and I know you as even a creative male, that's a
Mm.
big thing. It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
You're here
It's
because you're also speaking for women.
yeah, it's and that's what I want to emphasize in my work too. Like I think the reason why I dance with black women so much in my work is because I have such respect for black women that it's like ridiculous. Like and it comes from my mom. My mom is a single parent,
Ugh,
and
I love
just
your
seeing as yeah, thank you. She loves you. She's such a fan. She talks about you at least once every single day.
love
Um,
her.
yeah, I love her. But yeah, just seeing how hard she works. I swear, black women are the hardest working human beings there is in
We
the world.
are.
And
Hold the world on our backs.
right. So like that's why I just loved it. Like no one can dance like a black woman. I will
Say it
hold that.
again.
No one
Say
can dance like a
it
black woman,
again.
and I'll hold that to the day I die. It's just you are just amazing, and Yeah, I have so much respect for y'all, and especially when it comes to movement, like y'all speak you'll speak a language that, and I know dance is a universal language that everyone understands, but like it's just something about black women. Like y'all just, it's honestly like you can't even really describe it. It's just something that y'all have. It's just
We
embedded
have
in you.
a touch of,
Yeah, you have a touch that like no one else in this world can have. And I just love being able to dance beside that and feel that
yeah,
energy and to vibe off of that. So like
yeah,
my parade, people are like, you dance all day. I'm like, you don't understand the feeling of having those black women behind me. And that's also like kind of what I wanted to give. Like
yep.
you see this black lead like in the front, this black
Wakanda.
male lead, yeah, in the front. But like I want you to realize that no black man would be here without a black woman. So that's why
Right.
all those women are like dancing hard in that video. Like y'all were
We
going
went off,
in.
okay?
Y'all were
That
going
video was A1.
in. Yeah, we don't exist without y'all. So it's just I love to emphasize that in my work. I love black
Love
women in
that.
any of my work.
So with that, what do you think people mistake social media's idea of art and the reality of the idea of art? Where do you feel like people find that mistake
Yeah.
in what they see versus what really is going on?
Yeah, I like I said before, social media takes the reality out of things so much. It really does take it away, and it's hard to push for that reality in social media. It's hard to try to really show what's going on in your world because we only can show moments through
Right,
social media, and like a lot of times, people are only showing finished products in
right,
social media, only showing achievements, accomplishments. You don't
right.
really hear anyone talking too much about things that are not going well, unless you're just very open and vulnerable, like that on social media, which is another take. In my opinion, I'm honestly not that person. So that's why I'm speaking from that point of like social media isn't all that real. I've been through a lot this past year that you'll never know, while at the same time of
I let you see
creating.
what I want you to see.
Right. I'll let you see what I want you to be. And I'm just personally, I don't like everyone in my business like that.
Right.
But that still doesn't defeat the fact that I'm saying social media is a reality all the time. And I feel like that takes a lot out of it, especially when showing work.
Mhm.
You get the finished product, and like, I know for a fact that people don't really take in consideration what goes into a project by the comments. That's why I look at it. You have so much of,
Can you do
oh,
this
can you do
again?
this? Yeah, I wish you would have done this differently. I don't know if I like that so much. And while I respect your opinions and everything, I usually just let it go in one ear and out the other because one thing you don't know is the budget that goes into making these.
And how I'm funding this myself.
Funding
Okay.
this myself. We did Black Parade on little to no budget, which is crazy. I got a lot of those costumes from the thrift store. Like it's hard. You don't know the time and energy people make to come and get that. Like me and Amaria, when we did Ungodly Hour, like we had to do
Yeah.
that so quick while the sun was out because it was like already 6 o'clock by that time. And
Wow.
even when we did me and my friend Rochelle, when we did
Yeah.
Please Watch to the End of the Credits as well, or This Is America, whatever you want to call it, we had a curfew um, that came in the middle of us filming. So we had to rush to get the end of the film done, which is like the
That is
American
so
flag thing.
crazy.
Yeah, and people won't notice that. They were like, oh, I wish they would have got a different shot or done this. I'm like, people will never understand
I
unless you
was
were
running
there
to
or
make sure
we
I
were
didn't get
running,
caught.
like running so we could get back in and not cause any ruckus or nothing. So like it's it's hard. It's hard to find that balance in social media, but I definitely think it does do that. It takes the reality out of things sometimes because you can't post your whole entire
Right.
life on there.
Right. So with so okay, so social media being virtual learning and
Hmm.
reality being in studios. Do you really think we'll get back to the reality side of dance anytime soon? Like I yeah, what do you think about that?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen from this point on.
I know I've
It's,
worked in a couple studios since, like of
mhm.
course with the spacing out and they're around the border of the room. It's so crazy to see the structure they've created for all these studios to have class still.
Yeah,
But
right.
it's just like I feel like it's just still not comfortable. I'm not even comfortable. Like I although I've done it, I'm still not comfortable. I'm like sweat is still not any better than coughing. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like or just being in an enclosed space like that where it's really no circulation once we're really getting hot and dancing. Like do you really think that we'll get back to a reality fact of being in studios?
Yeah, I love this question because I've been dealing with this a lot actually when I was back in LA and I was just like really living by myself. Um, I still think about this now while I'm teaching in studios and I preach this now as well. But I also think I heard this from a friend. I'm just not sure who it was. So excuse me if I don't give credit because I don't remember. Uh-oh. Hold on. There we go. All right. Yeah. It it's this thing of perspective again. It's what you think, what dance means to you as far as it being reality. Um, I feel like we've gotten really comfortable with dance being in a studio and being from coming from a university where hip hop is taught there, but our professors emphasize all the time that hip hop is not a studio dance. It's not studio dance form. You don't learn that in the studio with
Ooh.
social dances. You learn that in the street. You learn that at home. You learn that from watching and figuring out how to embody it. Yeah, it's from the heart. If you can wake up and move your body, you can dance. And that's the reality of dance. It's not meant to be in a studio. It's not always meant to be with a group of people. You can
Thank
wake
you.
up and dance by yourself. So this idea of like virtual learning isn't the same, or dancing with everyone is just not the same, and all this, all that, I understand. You have to learn how to adapt and make things happen, just the same way we're doing with concept videos. I want more people,
Right.
therefore I'm going to figure out a way that I can safely adapt to that and bring more people along in a project that I'm creating.
Right.
But as far as dance, you can dance anywhere you want to. You can be in your shower and dance. You can be homeless and you can still dance on the street.
Right.
Dance is not something that is meant to be in a studio. Dance is with
Uh-uh.
your body. It's
I
a
tell people that
mindset.
all the time. I taught
Yeah.
a $5 workshop for $5 classes all of July.
Oof.
And
Come on.
not I when I tell you I expected people to fill that up, they didn't, because everybody's mindset was so set on I want to be in the studio. I'm tired of virtual learning. I'm like, the whole point of the workshop was to let you know that all the stuff I created was made at home, which means it's
Home.
possible to do at home, because I always tell my students, when you're learning or teaching yourself dance, it starts at home, and home is your heart and in
Yeah.
those four walls that you live in.
Exactly.
You
And
deserve to teach yourself. There's so many resources at home, and things you can do to start at home. That's where it starts. Because if
right.
you're waiting to be with a teacher all the time, you're not gonna go anywhere. I don't know. I tell people I don't really. You don't see me in class a lot because I'm booking. I'm
Hmm.
booking, and I'm learning on set, and I'm learning from those bookings, because that's where I'm really gonna learn. In order,
Right.
you go to class to go start working outside of class, not being a professional class taker.
Hmm. Exactly. And so even like you just said, when you offer something virtually and you're like, I'm gonna offer a class virtually or see if we can do this, and everyone's talking about how they're so tired of it. I'm like, it's a mindset. If you want to learn
Right.
this, if you actually want to learn this combo, you'll get on it and you'll take it. You'll take away what you need to.
Which
Like,
is crazy because they were
yeah,
all technique classes. Of all
yeah.
things, I didn't even do that many combos. I think I did two combos. Other than that, we did a ballet class. Like, it was
Come
technique,
on.
like things you couldn't even find. Like, the biggest
Right.
studio of technique is now closed. Edge is closed. Edge has the most technique classes in Los Angeles, and we just lost that. And we've lost
Yeah.
Debbie Reynolds, and we lost Edge now. That is so crazy to me.
And it's the same thing. Like, there's a difference in between what everyone's thinking. I want to take it in a studio. I want to take in a studio. What, a combo or like training? Because
So I would
there's,
prefer sweating at a ballet bar for beginner classes than I
yeah,
would being in a combo class.
exactly. And don't get me wrong. I 100% think combo for class
Oh,
is,
yes.
you're training your brain to learn quickly. You're
Yep,
training your
quick.
brain to learn how to adapt it to your body and also add your own flavor into it, look different than anyone else in the room. It gets you
Right,
prepared for auditions. Even when there's videotaping in there, it gets you ready for camera work, making sure you can
right,
look into the camera, not the mirror.
right.
Classes for sure training. But when it comes to those technique classes that are being offered, if you actually want to take it and commit to it, you will, no matter how it's
What?
offered. Yeah, and but you can also do it yourself. You hear so many times the teachers telling you, put your feet under a couch to get to the
I
stretch your
tell
feet
my
in the
students
corner.
that every time I teach a class.
Right. You have to do it yourself.
400 crunches a day. This, that. You need to keep yourself fit. It starts
Yeah.
at
it's self-discipline. If you want it that bad, you will go and get it yourself. But
Right.
dance is not always meant to be in a studio. It's not meant to be in a studio. Dance is just dance. You could do it. It's a feeling. You
I
move with
love
your
it.
body. Yeah.
I love it. So, with that being said, last question for this whole entire
Oh
great
no.
conversation. I've been fulfilled. What is something you hope to see change in the dance community once this all lets up? Although there is no normal, this is the new normal. What is something you hope to see change that when we start functioning again?
I hope the appreciation for what Black bodies have brought to dance is over the moon once this like dies down or starts figuring out itself. Yeah, I just hope that we appreciate so much what Black people have given and take the time to educate ourselves on what we're producing and putting
Right.
out to the world. I feel like there's such a lack of context in dance now when we present like certain works or concept videos or combinations, and a lot of times it can feel like a bunch of moves or like just a whole bunch of people gyrating and shaking their ass, excuse my language, but um which I'm definitely the one to speak because I definitely think there's a time and place for that because I'm not even gonna act like I don't do all that
Look,
stuff. For sure, I think there's a time and place, but just seeing so many dancers specifically and friends of mine advocate and see what they put out on social media, I want to see effective change. I want to see you actually
I
take in
love
what you've
it.
been
Thank
preaching
you.
and see that actually happen, because right now what's going on is the same cycle that we were just in a couple of months ago. Like Black people have been saying and Black artists have been preaching, this is going to happen again as long as you let it die down and not say anything. And now we have Jacob Blake because we're not keeping this conversation going. It's not important
Right.
enough to everyone yet. And I don't understand what else we have to do for to get the point across that Black people need to exist in order for this culture that you have taken and adapted to exist even longer. Like
Right.
we have to live, we have to keep going, and like we just can't emphasize how much our lives are important. Every life is important, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
Black people, we we're
Very
just so
important.
important. We're so important, especially
Very
for the
important. We're
age.
like the unicorn. We're the unicorn of
Yeah,
the bunch.
and I've said it multiple times. We are art. I don't care what you say. We're art. Black people are art.
My
You take
grandfather
us
said that.
away.
He said we were meant for this. Black and brown people were meant for this. We were
We're
meant
meant
for
for
this. We
this.
were built on having to learn how to adapt.
Yeah.
So this is not hard for us. Being locked up is not hard. I know I have a whole studio. This whole
Hmm.
idea came about because I was able to sit down and finally be able to bring it into fruition. I've always had it,
Yeah.
but we are now have the time. We won't have any more time like this. So if you're not
Mm.
taking advantage of this time, you're not taking advantage of the growth.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly stand by that. If you have not grown, if you have not had an open like thought process, spiritual guidance, transformation during this time, if you haven't really sat and learned yourself or relearned yourself or going through relearning yourself during this time, you really haven't taken advantage of the free time we actually have for the world to like literally stop for everybody to adjust and figure it out.
Right.
Like it's not gonna come again. It's gonna come, but it's not gonna come again anytime soon. So why not
It's
take
not.
advantage of it right while it's here?
Exactly. Yeah. Appreciation. That's what I want to see. I want to see it from everyone.
I love it. Well, please let everybody know where they can keep in touch with you and keep up with what you're doing, how they can support you. Let them know how they can keep in contact.
Yes, my Instagram handle, which is where I post a lot of my work, and also my YouTube. It's just Jakevis Thomason, which is my name, JakevisThomason. You can also find me on Facebook as well. I'll post some things there. But yeah, that's where you can keep in
Everything
touch.
under Jakevis Thomason. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Wait, where is Mama?
Mama is downstairs. If you want me to run down, I'll show you to her.
Oh yeah,
Cause
let me. We gotta go say hey to Mama. I gotta say hey to Mama, y'all. And his mother is literally. I love her so much. She is a fan. Okay, I
she's
love
such a
her.
fan of you.
She is my favorite. Yeah, she's the one, and she's absolutely amazing. Y'all need to check her out
Bounce wants to
as
say hey to you.
well. Hey, Mama. Hey. I love it.
She is your egg. That she is your egg.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I'm so happy to have talked to you all. I'm so glad to have seen you, Mama. Thank you so much for taking the time. I cannot wait for everybody to blow up your page and see what you have to offer. But I love you and thank you for this conversation. Cheers to you. And cheers to y'all. This is the Busy Bee WineDown. I'll see y'all next Wednesday and Saturday for another new guest. I love you. Cheers. The Busy Bee is out.